Hi, my name is Steve Larson, and I would like to take you through my leadership journey, which will include many of the things I learned in taking this class. No journey of self-discovery and improvement is the same, and mine is unique to me and to the person that I am. Hopefully, I can give you some insight into the person that I am and the person I hope to be, because learning is a never-ending requirement for emerging leaders. My post-high school education started at what is now known as the Missouri School of Science and Technology, formerly the University of Missouri-Rolla. While there, I earned a Bachelor's of Science degree in Chemical Engineering. After graduation, I began my career in June of 2000 as an engineer at an automotive factory called TG Missouri in Perryville, Missouri. My wife and I live in Jackson, Missouri with our three children. Reese, a freshman in high school, Emma is in the seventh grade, and Connor is in the fourth grade. We have lived in Jackson for the past 16 years and have been married for 15 of those years. My wife is a teacher's aide at East Elementary in Jackson, and the two of us met while we both worked at TG in the early 2000s. Our lives revolve around the activities that our kids participate in. Reese is a high school cheerleader and a dancer for the Jackson Indians. Emma excels at volleyball and at soccer, playing both of those sports at a club level. And our full of energy 10-year-old son Connor loves football, basketball, and his PlayStation. All three of them are exceptionally nice and smart kids as well. I had to put a lot of thought in what my true north really is. After giving it some thought, my true north is in the passion I have for working and providing for my family. I love having a job where I'm busy all the time. This may come from when my first job out of college, I was pretty busy, but the busier I am, the more satisfied I am with the job that I am doing. A big part of my intellectual development comes from being self-aware of where I fall short on the leadership spectrum. Technically, when it comes to being a subject matter expert in my job, I am well versed and have a lot of experience. When it comes to leading people and being someone that people will follow, I know that I have a lot to learn. My development will come from being more open to having a mentor and asking lots of questions. A big part of my leadership development plan and my leadership journey is staying disciplined and managing my stress levels. For stress management, I would say I do not do the greatest job. One thing I try to do on a regular basis is CrossFit. CrossFit is the perfect way to just let the stress of my life and job go out the window in a hardworking, supportive, and fun environment. As much as I can, I try to practice what I preach, but stay true to my feelings and to myself. In the workplace, there are boundaries that I will not cross. Because as a manager, if I cross ethical boundaries and the people I lead see that, then they will start to skirt the line between right and wrong until that line no longer exists. My motivations for working as hard as I do and trying to be the best leader I can be are my kids. They will look to my example on how to act, how to treat people, and how to get up and go to work every day even when I don't. I want to be able to provide not just a life for them, but show them a way that will give them a better life, a happy life, and a life they want to live each and every day. Personal reflection is also something that I try to do as a leader. No one can improve themselves if they do not first know who they are. I am critical of myself at times, but not so hard that I lack self-confidence. I do know that I have a long way to go to become the leader I want to be, and as long as I can look at myself and say I'm not done yet or I'm not there yet, then I know I will continue to improve. Building relationships is one of the most important parts of my leadership development plan. If I am not able to build relationships, then people will not want to follow me. For me, building relationships always starts with being invested in the success of the other person, because the success of someone else should not threaten a great leader. My leadership style is one where I like to lead by example and one in which I will not ask someone to do something that I am not willing to do myself. I think that if the people that I am supposed to be leading know that I will work as hard for them as I am asking for them to work for me, then they will want to follow where I lead and understand when I need them to do something. My leadership journey is one that will never end. Once you stop learning and trying to improve yourself, then you will peak as a leader. There is always something you can learn from someone on a personal or professional level. There has to be an openness and willingness to accept that leadership is a road with no end. For me, the best way to be a better leader is to watch leaders lead, ask questions, and gain an understanding on why certain decisions are made. Leadership integration is something that I know I struggle with and will always struggle with. Putting all the pieces together in a way that is meaningful and walks the path to cultural, operational, and strategical success is something that at times I don't see. As a leader, you really have to see the entire board and know what pieces to move and where to move them. To be an effective leader, I know I will have to lead with a purpose. That purpose does not mean that we put the bottom line of productivity first. Good leaders always put people first, and leaders that have left legacies for others to follow are said that they were driven to serve people. That is the type of leader that I hope to be, one that serves people to the best of my abilities while trying to be a good servant leader. As a leader, I would like to be able to say that I left things better than when I got them there. As I continue to be a leader that my coworkers turn to support and the company I work for looks at me for guidance, I want to make sure that things are better on the day that I leave than they were on the day that I started. This isn't something that is easy to do and takes discipline and requires focus. Part of my leadership journey will also require continued learning and more education. After I graduate with my MBA, I will have 2 master's and a bachelor's degree, but I know my education will not end there. There are so many things I will be able to learn by watching and speaking with great leaders, by taking continuing education classes, and by learning by failing. All of the things that have been discussed regarding leadership will require hard work, something no great leader can be afraid of. Dealing with people is hard. Plotting a path and sticking to that path is hard. Getting people to follow you on that path is hard. Being doubted, getting tired, losing self-confidence. These are all hard things to deal with. Life is difficult. Life is supposed to test you, sometimes break you, and then something better be built in its place. Great leaders don't run when things get hard. They adapt, learn, and make things better. Most leaders will tell you they grew the most and learned the most when they were met with life's challenges. They did not run from those challenges, and they did not let those challenges define them. As the father of 3 kids, the one thing I want my kids to know more than anything is that I did as much for them as I could, but so that they could also see someone who worked just as hard, so they could also be someone who works just as hard and try to be the best person I can be. My kids watch me, they see me go to work, they see me go to school, they see me show up to their things, and the greatest thing I can be as a leader is to lead my kids to believe in themselves.